Hey guys, I'm Damien, and this is Peanut. Hello. And today we're going to be talking about introverts, especially because there are some really terrible theories online about attraction that are horribly wrong. One of the biggest of those is that you can't be an introvert if you want to be attractive to women. But actually, if you look a little closer in the media and in public fiction, you'll discover that it is absolutely chock full of heartthrob introverts. So today, I'm going to bring you a list of the 9 most popular heartthrob introverts out there. So hopefully some of you guys watching who are introverts as well may actually realize you don't need to change yourselves to be attractive to women. Keep watching to find out more. So the very first thing I'm going to do is go through the list of introverts, just so you can see where I'm going with this and sort of start to, hopefully get your eyes opened a little bit. And then I'm going to discuss a little bit what it is about these introverts that's making them attractive and what your features are to an introvert that could be attractive to women. So let's have a little bit of a look. So first of all, number 1 on the list is James Bond. Let's be honest, James Bond may also be a psychopath, but he is undoubtedly an introvert. He is cool, he's calm, he's collected, he doesn't generally like large groups of people, especially the more modern James Bonds like to keep to themselves and be quiet and not do a lot of talking and not be the life of the party. Number 2 is Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice. Now, I don't know if you guys have read Pride and Prejudice or if you've watched Pride and Prejudice. There have been a number of remakes of it. But Mr. Darcy is the epitome of the anti-life of the party. He's introspective, he's quiet, he's dark, and he's brooding. And in fact, it is this mysteriousness that he has because he's not like the life of the party, he's not like the super social character, that Jane Austen relied on to excite so much of her female audience. And audiences hundreds of years ago were turned on by Mr. Darcy, and to this day they are still. Number 3 on the list, Edward Cullen from the Twilight Saga. Can you get any more introverted than Edward Cullen? If you've ever been forced to watch the Twilight Saga, this dark, broody, antisocial guy, he keeps to himself, doesn't have much to say, not the greatest conversationalist in the world, right? And yet, teen girls around the world are wetting themselves just to get a chance to get a photo with him. Number 4 is Christian Grey from 50 Shades of Grey. Oh yeah, if you guys have been not living under a rock, you know all about 50 Shades of Grey. It's the book that basically has had young and old women alike getting all bothered in the nether regions and has single-handedly increased the sale of sex toys around the world. Christian Grey was, of course, an introvert as well. Shouldn't be a surprise, of course, because Christian Grey, his character was originally written to mimic Edward Cullen's character, because 50 Shades of Grey was meant to be originally a sex rewrite of the Twilight Saga. Number 5 is Sam Winchester from Supernatural. I hope you guys have been watching Supernatural. It's an absolutely fantastic TV show that's been going on for like over a decade. I love the show. Sam and Dean Winchester are the 2 primary brothers in the show. Dean is much more social, loves to go out and talk to people. Sam is more quiet, introverted, not super social, not super confident either. He's an introvert, but boy, is he a heartthrob. And he has got one of the longest lists of female fans out there in that show because of his introversion. Number 6 on the list is Mr. Big from Sex and the City. Again, Mr. Big, not the life of the party, not the super social person, right? He's a confident guy. He's got money. He's got other things going for him, but he's not extroverted. He's introverted, and women loved Mr. Big for all of his flaws. Number 7. Winter is coming, guys, with Jon Snow from the Game of Thrones. Jon Snow, not a super confident guy. If you remember him, he wasn't super confident. He was often lost for words. He wasn't one who spoke a lot. He was very far from the life of the party. He was an outsider. He didn't have lots of social proof and social people around him. And yet, women loved Jon Snow. There's a whole Jon Snow fan club of women who find him really, 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 really sexy. And again, it's just trying to bed down this idea that you don't have to be super extroverted. My last on the list would be probably one of the more famous ones, which is Doug Ross from ER. Now, you might not know who this is, but if I said the name George Clooney, that was George Clooney, and that is how he originally became a heartthrob. George Clooney was nobody before ER, really, and he certainly wasn't a heartthrob, but after that, he gained the sex icon status that every guy would love to have. And yet his character in ER was stereotypically an introvert, and not necessarily a super confident one at that. Now, actually, when I was making this video, I thought that I'd have to start hunting for introverts, famous, heartthrob introverts. I thought I'd have a list of 3 or 4, but I actually ended up with a list of 20, and I could have easily kept going. As it turns out, in literature especially, but I tried to stay away from literature because, just not as many guys read as much. But also in the movies, most of the heartthrobs are introverts. Their characters are introverted. Now, these characters wouldn't be written like this if women didn't want to see men like this as their sex icons in movies. So, even your James Dean and your Clint Eastwood, I mean, the list goes on. A lot of the heartthrobs were introverted. And so it's an important thing to realize that women are looking for men like this. Now, before you sort of jump up and down and write in the comment section, but Damien, wait up, I'm an introvert and I'm lonely, and how can an introvert meet women if he's too shy to even meet women? Being shy doesn't make you an introvert. Being an introvert doesn't have to make you shy. You can be shy and be an introvert, plenty are, but you can overcome being shy without having to resort to trying to push yourself to be extroverted. Okay? You'll notice that all these characters, some of them were super confident. Men like Christian Grey were super confident guys. Men like Jon Snow were not confident at all, right? But they weren't cowards. So if Jon Snow, for example, saw something that he wanted or knew was the right thing to do, he'd do it, right? He wasn't scared of doing the things that needed to be done. He felt fear, but he would never hold back from doing them. And that's in many ways what women want from the men. They don't need you to be the super confident social life of the party. They just need you to be confident enough to say, hey, you're cute and I like you and want to talk to you, right? You can be stumbling over the words, you can be a little bit nervous about it, but you got to go for it. And that's what all these introverts had in common, was they might feel nervous, they weren't super well socially calibrated, but what they did was know what they wanted and not hold back from it. And that was really the big defining feature for all of them. A lot of introverts, they've got characteristics that women like. They're very introspective, they think a lot, they tend to have a much more deeper existence, less superficial. A lot of these things are things that women like in a man. But you need to get yourself out there and get seen, or, yes, I get it, you're going to struggle with women. So I just wanted to hopefully, show some of you guys that being introverted doesn't have to mean that you're going to be unattractive. In fact, on the balance of things, if you look at what women are getting turned on by in the media, it's introverted guys. Now, are you actually an introvert? Or are you a shy extrovert? Are you an extrovert, or are you a confident introvert? These things can be really hard to know, but actually knowing what your dating personality is really important. I've got an online dating personality test, which is a really comprehensive program based on 16 different aspects of your personality. Now, in this test, what we do is you do the program, and then what you can see is what are your strengths and weaknesses with women. So what are the aspects of your personality that you should work on because they're going to make you attractive to women, and what are the aspects of your personality that you should work on, holding back from, because they're always going to be weaknesses, right? Because you don't want to change who you are to be attractive to women, but you do want to learn to accentuate the things that are most attractive about you. So I highly recommend doing this test. You can click on the link up here. It's totally free to take. Take it right now. It's going to teach you a little bit of something about yourself and hopefully give you something more to work on in your journey to become more successful with women. So I'm hoping too that the introverts out there, that this video has given you some hope. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you really think I'm wrong somehow? Curious to hear about it. Happy to engage in some group discussion as always. If you've liked my video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel by clicking over here. And of course, check out some of my other videos by clicking on the links behind it. I do a couple of videos every week. As always, I'm Damien. Have a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.